from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Tuesday, November 16th. So today we do have the moon in Aries still, but will be going void, of course, and transitioning into this Tauran energy. Let me tell you, we are moving into the full moon window. Download your moon guide if you haven't already. It'll give you a good guide, a good assistant in order to dive into the shadow work and really tap into the powerful energies that this full moon partial lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to do for us individually and as the collective. We have the moon moving in and locking into that Tauran energy around 10:19 p.m., which means that we're going to have the bulk of our waking day a little bit shaky, a little bit unstable, a little bit frustrated, a little bit restless. And anytime we move from Arian energy into Tauran energy, we come down from flying high and we hit the ground like a ton of bricks. And of course, we got to slow our roll. That fire energy, very rapid, very chaotic, very excitable, very passionate, had us all over the place. This Tauran energy, we got to slow down. We got to go back to the basics. We got to stick to what is tried, tested, and true. We have to take care of our physical form. We have to take the moment to get our mind, body, and soul right. And because this is full moon energy, because this is eclipse energy, you best believe we're going to be probably physically low on energy, but our inner realms, our mental planes, our emotions, high vibe, high electric energy. So we want to be very careful. Now, this is potentially the calm before the storm. As you know, yesterday was a very, very high and chaotic day in the cosmos with 11 moon aspects, 15 planetary aspects all together. Very crazy kind of day. And today we have 6 aspects taking place, 5 of them involving the moon. And like I said, I would like to say that this is the calm before the storm. We are moving into this eclipse energy. It is going to be an accelerated type of energy. Things are going to get a little bit potent, a little bit cray-cray. So we're definitely given a day to adjust to these particular energies. The moon, still in Arian energy, makes a very positive aspect with Saturn. This is really going to show us where it is we need to be a little bit more direct, focused in, emotionally charged, passionate about some of the things that we're actively looking to build, especially when long-term system structures, routines are concerned. Yes, emotionally speaking, with the moon in Aries, we are fired up, we're bold, we're brave, we're courageous to tackle whatever needs to be tackled in the here and now in order to set us up for futuristic dreams, visions, and goals to actually come into manifestation. And that Lord of Karma, Saturn, he just wants us to really take our time to really understand what it is in the old foundations, routines, and systems we need to move away from in order to build better systems, better foundations, stronger. You know, we really need to get a grip on our emotions, on our mental plane, really focus in on what is going to be best for us, not only today, not only tomorrow, but, you know, a year from now, 5 years from now. The moon makes a not so nice aspect with Neptune though, and this is going to be a blur because intuitively speaking, we're not that aligned. We are a little bit more stuck in our egos, stuck in our physical realms. We don't really want to listen to the gut feelings that we're having. We're not really down to dream and to visualize. That moon in Aries wants to focus in on what we can do now, how we can exert ourselves now, what we can process now. Very in the moment, very connected to this physical realm. So we're going to have a hard time because we're feeling a little bit restless and we're feeling this electric energy come in. We feel, like I said, in our inner realms, like we're fired up and charged up and ready to go. Our physical energy, though, and the opportunities to exert ourselves in our physical realms to actually make some of these dramatic, changes and transformations to align with our intuitive dreams and visions and goals. Not quite given the green light there, and that in itself could create some frustration. Now, the moon goes ahead in sextiles, which is a positive aspect, with Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion, really wanting us to focus on, the possibilities, the silver linings, really wants to hype us up, make us optimistic, make us confident. And of course, the moon in Aries is confident, is excitable, is fired up and ready to go. And this particular energy, especially with the fire energy of Aries and the air energy of Aquarius, This is beautiful insight, beautiful thoughts, beautiful alignments between our emotions and our mental plane, understanding the greater, grander picture of what it is that we're striving for, what it is that we're actively trying to make a move and take action in our physical realms in the here and now in order to actually manifest these big dreams and visions. Why? Because we've decided we want more out of life. And that more is leading us into a very aggressive pursuit to new passions and new desires. The moon goes ahead and makes a not so nice aspect with the sun though. And the sun, of course, in Scorpio, trying to illuminate for us what needs to die from old self, old emotions, old mental thoughts and ideas and narratives. What needs to die in order for us to be reborn, rebirthed, making a full transformation. Again, we're in our final days of Scorpio season. We have to wrap things up here. And the moon in Aries definitely wants to focus on the here and now, definitely wants to cut the cords from the past, definitely wants to be fired up and take charge and make a change. But this little tension point is likely going to be an outside trigger. A situation, maybe you hear some gossip, maybe your plans just fall apart and it really puts a fork in it, bringing up some old pain, some old trauma, making us react out of ego instead of, responding from the observer type of mentality. So we are going to get a little bit of a quote unquote test to see where it is that we're, again, falling victim to the patterns of our unconscious selves, and where it is that we need to become a little bit more aware in the present moment that those parts of us need to die in order for us to fully stand in our power, acting as our higher selves, observing these situations and why they're happening for the greater, grander lesson that, of course, is divinely scripted in all the circumstances in which we face. The moon goes ahead and squares Pluto. So Pluto, as you know, rules over the Scorpio season. He really is about helping us boss up and take our power back and take our control back and really seeing where, the depths of the transformation is needed, especially in our emotions, especially in our psyche. That's where it has to start first before we're going to see it in our physical realms. And the moon being in Aries, all fired up and kind of, restless with ants in our pants and not sure how to properly aggress our energy in a healthy way right now, could kind of freak out. Why? Because we're frustrated. Why? Because we're facing all of these changes and these obstacles, and we're realizing what within ourselves has been blocking our own blessings. And this brings up a lot of, stubbornness and tantrums and fear and insecurity. And it really kind of makes us feel like there's an attack on who it is that we are and who it is that we've been, and not realizing that we're actually attacking ourselves. And this is the ego death that we have to go through, especially when we're going through an awakening in the dark night of the soul, in order to put to death certain ideologies, certain behaviors, certain ways of being. And of course, that Aryan energy, the first sign of the zodiac that does represent the ego identity itself, we have a lot of realizing to do. A lot of aha moments and epiphanies are emerging on where it is that we actually, standing in our egoic identity, are preventing some of the progressive moves that we know we need to make from our higher selves, from our intuition, in order to kind of step in the full power of our spirit, of our soul selves. So we end the day off with the sun sextiling Pluto. Now this is beautiful. The sun is in Scorpio. Pluto rules over Scorpio. A sextile is a good energy, a good blending of energies. This is basically riding off of the aha moments that we just had. The sun is illuminating for us, oh my goodness, you're right. I have been acting out of ego. I have been using my victim and pain trauma story to keep me in a state of paralysis, defensive for making any kind of change and betterment in my life. And the sun at this particular point just wants to help us, kind of kicks us in the butt, saying, you know what, use your energy, attention, focus, drive, desire, passion, use your life force for good instead of tearing yourself down. And of course, anytime that the sun and Pluto get together, there is an illumination of some of the darker parts that we have tried very hard to keep under the surface of our conscious selves. So there's like this awareness because of the earlier aspect of the moon squaring Pluto, where that is our unconscious selves coming out. That is our ego selves coming out. That is our dark side coming out, our shadow side coming out. And then the sun sextiles Pluto and is like, damn, okay, I've seen those darker parts. I'm aware of them now. Now I can do something about them. I'm going to tap into the power, to the control of this Plutonian energy of revealing, shining a bright light on these darker parts of my psyche, of my heart space, of my behavior, of my identity, of my ego. And I'm actually going to be able to do something with it now because I'm aware of it. And that's what consciousness is about, is doing the shadow work to dive inside our unconscious selves, what it is we've repressed, what it is that remains hidden, what it is that bubbles up underneath the surface. We get to illuminate it by the sun, shining a bright light on these parts and recognizing where a certain depth is needed to these particular parts of self in order for us to truly stand in our spirit, in our source power, which of course is what ascension is all about.